Wade Wilson, a 30-year-old Florida man, has been sentenced to death for the savage murders of 2 women in 2019. The horrific crimes that rocked the Cape Coral community have left a lasting impact on those who knew the victims. But what really happened on that fateful night of October 7th? Wade Wilson's early life remains largely a mystery, though his name might ring a bell for superhero fans. Dubbed the Deadpool Killer by the media due to his shared name with the Marvel character portrayed by Ryan Reynolds. Born in Fort Myers to underage parents, Wilson was put up for adoption and raised by Steve and Candace Wilson, a well-off, church-going couple known for their friendly nature. Wilson grew up in the Tallahassee area before moving to Lee County. He attended Deer Lake Middle School and Lawton Chills High School, likely graduating in 2013. Interestingly, some of his high school peers remember him as a troubled teen who often hung out with the wrong crowd, smoked marijuana, and was involved in petty thefts, early signs that hinted at a dark future. The night of October 7, 2019, marked a tragic turning point in the lives of 2 innocent women, Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Wade Wilson, then 25, met Melton and her friend at a local bar where they spent the evening socializing. As the night wore on, the group left the bar and headed to a nearby residence. After spending several hours together, Wilson, Melton, and her friend eventually parted ways. Wilson returned to Melton's home with her, where the night took a terrifying turn. While she slept, Wilson strangled Melton to death and then stole her car. But Wilson's murder spree didn't stop there. Shortly afterward, he encountered Diane Ruiz walking along a street in Cape Coral. Pretending to ask for directions, Wilson lured Ruiz into his vehicle where he brutally attacked and beat her. When Ruiz tried to escape, Wilson strangled her, threw her out of the car, and then, in an act of unimaginable cruelty, ran her over repeatedly. According to court testimony, her body was so severely damaged that it looked like spaghetti. Ms. Melton was found with extensive injuries, including bruises on her face and body, hemorrhages on her neck, and contusions to her lungs, liver, bladder, and colon. Ruiz also suffered devastating injuries, including a fractured nasal bone, a laceration on her left breast, bruising on both sides of her body, and multiple rib fractures. Her body was discovered in a field 3 days later. Kristine Melton, a 35-year-old waitress from Cape Coral, was known for her vibrant personality and quick wit. Originally from Illinois, she had a passion for dressing up and was beloved by her friends for her caring and supportive nature. Diane Ruiz, a 43-year-old bartender, was recognized for her strong work ethic and dedication to her job. She was engaged to be married and was on her way to work when she tragically crossed paths with Wade Wilson. Let's take a brief trip down memory lane before we continue to see if there were tellable signs of the monster he'd turn out to be later in life. Wilson's criminal record extends back several years before the murders of Melton and Ruiz. In 2015, he was arrested on charges of sexual battery and kidnapping. A woman claimed that Wilson raped her in his SUV after they met at a party in Tallahassee. Wilson denied these allegations, and he was acquitted by a jury at his trial. 8 months before the Fort Myers killings, Wilson's former girlfriend accused him of stealing her laptop and cell phone. A month later, she alleged that Wilson had kidnapped and raped her. However, due to a no-contact court order between the two, investigators decided not to pursue the rape and kidnapping allegations. Wilson's drug abuse, which began in high school, continued after his arrest and imprisonment following the gruesome October 2019 killings. Wilson's reign of terror came to an abrupt end when he made a fateful phone call to his biological father, Stephen Testaseca. During the call, Wilson confessed to the murders in graphic detail and revealed his location. The police were immediately alerted, and Wilson was arrested on October 8, 2019. In an era where family members often become accomplices to their loved ones' crimes, it was refreshing to see that Wade's biological father chose to do what was best for the community and society by turning his son in to the authorities. The trial that followed was an agonizing ordeal for the victims' families and the entire community. The evidence against Wilson was overwhelming, painting a chilling portrait of a man driven by dark and twisted impulses. The senselessness of killing 2 women within hours of each other seemingly just for the sake of killing, left many grappling for answers. After several days of deliberation, the jury found Wilson guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, grand theft, battery, burglary, and petty theft. After the murders in September 2020, Wade Wilson faced additional charges when he and his cellmate, Joseph Katz, attempted to escape from Lee County Jail. Wilson was charged with attempted escape and criminal mischief for their efforts. But Wilson's criminal activities didn't stop there. In 2023, he was implicated in a drug smuggling operation at the jail. In April 2023, authorities discovered a stash of narcotics hidden near some landscaping rocks at the Lee County Jail. The bags, containing loose cigarettes, suspected narcotics, lighters, and pills, tested positive for methamphetamine. The investigation revealed that Wilson had been working with other inmates to smuggle and plant these drugs in the facility. As a result, he faced additional charges of attempted trafficking and conspiracy to traffic methamphetamine. Wilson later pleaded no contest to the drug smuggling charges. On August 29, 2024, he was back in court, where he entered a plea deal. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison for each drug-related charge, along with a $50,000 fine. These sentences will run concurrently with his death penalties for the murders. On June 12, 2024, Wade Wilson was found guilty of the 2019 murders of Diane Ruiz and Kristine Melton. Following his conviction, the jury recommended the death penalty for each of the murders on June 25, 2024. This recommendation was upheld by Judge Nicholas Thompson, sealing Wilson's fate. On August 27, 2024, Judge Thompson formally sentenced Wilson to death. Wilson's attorney has announced plans to appeal the death penalty sentence. In a recent hearing, neurologist Dr. Mark Rubino provided testimony about Wilson's mental health. Dr. Rubino revealed that Wilson had confided in his adoptive parents as a child, expressing fears that he thought he was going crazy. Dr. Rubino explained that brain scans of Wilson showed signs of brain trauma, which might be contributing to his cognitive and emotional issues. Wilson told Rubino about 2 car accidents from his youth, one involving a tree and another at the beach, as well as concussions from sports and physical altercations. Rubino conducted a series of tests to evaluate Wilson's brain function and discussed his childhood with him. Wilson mentioned a noticeable change in behavior around the age of 11, which coincided with his statement to his adoptive parents about feeling like he was losing his mind. Although Rubino could not confirm these claims with medical records, he believes they are likely accurate based on the brain scan results. In Florida, death row inmates face strict rules and regulations. While they are allowed certain amenities like snacks, radios, and televisions, they do not have access to cable TV or air conditioning. They wear distinctive orange T-shirts along with the standard blue pants worn by all prisoners. Death row inmates receive 3 meals a day delivered to their cells in insulated carts, and they use sporks to eat from their trays. Visitors must be pre-approved, and inmates can receive mail daily, except on holidays and weekends. Inmates on death row are kept in solitary confinement with limited interaction with other inmates. They are counted at least hourly and must wear handcuffs outside their cells, in the exercise yard, and during showers. Their movements are tightly controlled, allowing them out only for medical reasons, exercise, social or legal visits, or media interviews. When placed on death watch, inmates are permitted to make 1 legal and 1 social phone call. Florida has historically used the electric chair, nicknamed Old Sparky, for executions since its installation in 1999. However, in 2000, the state legislature introduced lethal injection as an alternative method. Inmates sentenced to death can choose electrocution instead, but this decision must be made in writing and delivered to the prison warden. Wade Wilson's death sentence has reignited the ongoing debate over capital punishment. Supporters argue that the death penalty serves as just retribution for heinous crimes and deters others from similar acts. They believe that by taking a life, the offender forfeits their own right to live, a view supported by the moral indignation of victims' families and the public. Additionally, supporters argue that the death penalty is cost-effective compared to life imprisonment and provides closure for victims' families while ensuring dangerous criminals cannot harm others. Conversely, Opponents argue that the death penalty is cruel and unusual punishment and ultimately ineffective in preventing crime. They view it as morally wrong, akin to murder, and believe it violates the condemned person's right to life. Critics also argue that capital punishment can be too harsh for lesser crimes and sends a troubling message about the value of human life. They contend that there is no conclusive evidence that the death penalty acts as a deterrent, and point to the high costs associated with legal appeals and the risk of executing innocent people. The psychological toll on prison staff and the public is also a concern. As Wade Wilson awaits execution, the future of capital punishment in Florida remains uncertain. Although the state has maintained its use of the death penalty, there have been significant changes and challenges. Recent years have seen a decline in executions nationwide, with many states abolishing or suspending the practice. Florida's history with the death penalty is long and complex, influenced by ongoing legal challenges, shifting public opinion, and political changes. Legal challenges have questioned the constitutionality of capital punishment laws, including jury unanimity requirements and the application of the death penalty. These challenges have caused delays in executions and raised concerns about fairness. Public opinion on the death penalty in Florida has fluctuated, with recent polls showing a decline in support and a growing movement toward abolition. The political landscape also plays a crucial role, as governors and legislators shape policies related to capital punishment. Governors can issue reprieves or pardons, while legislators can enact laws that impact the death penalty's application. Additionally, the high costs associated with death penalty cases, including legal appeals and housing inmates on death row, have led some to question whether resources could be better spent elsewhere. Recent changes to Florida's sentencing laws, including expanding the death penalty to include child rape and eliminating the requirement for a unanimous jury verdict, have further complicated the future of capital punishment. The case of Wade Wilson serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside within individuals. His brutal and senseless actions have left a lasting scar on the victims' families and the community. As he awaits his fate on death row, the debate over whether the death penalty is the appropriate punishment for such crimes continues. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the Wade Wilson case and your stance on capital punishment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next video.